Hey guys, it's Bub here, and in this video we're taking a look at an operating system that one of you recommended to me in my previous video's comment section. This is Barebones 11 v2. Now, I have no context on this operating system. All I know is the name and the size of the ISO, so I have no idea what it actually does, but let's dive into the context that we already know here. Barebones 11 obviously implies this is some sort of lightweight version of Windows 11, probably stripped down to the absolute minimum that's required. And I say that because the ISO itself is roughly 1.4 gigabytes. You heard me right. A Windows 11 ISO that is only 1.4 gigabytes. Sorry, let me correct myself. I just went back and looked. It is actually 1.29 gigabytes, so even better than what I had just said. If you don't know, Windows 11 itself today is 7.9 gigabytes, a Windows 11 25H2 ISO you download directly from Microsoft. So for this developer to cut it from 7.9 gigabytes down to 1.29 is incredible. So what did they cut out? Did they have to cut out the entire desktop experience? Or what does this ISO actually even bring to the table? All things I'm very interested to find out, because we've seen ISOs like Tiny11 in the past, but none of them have gotten to this ISO size. So let's dive into it and take a look. First things first, it just seems like it's going to jump us straight into the setup. We didn't get to pick our language or anything like that, which makes sense because we're trying to cut down on size. It may not have a language changer or keyboard layout changer. It might only be English US. Or I was wrong. It's actually going to give us the option, but we don't really get any different languages. We can pick different time formats and different keyboards, but no different languages. So we'll continue. We are going to install to our C drive, and that's it. 2 clicks and we're on our way. Alright, and here we are on the desktop of Barebones 11 v2. Now, as we can see here, Barebones 11 v2, it just brought us straight into the desktop environment. There was no out-of-box experience, and it did just create an admin account for us, so there really was no customization that we got to do out of the box. The only thing I did do was I went ahead and installed VMware Tools just to get a better experience for you guys, and it did run through about a 10-minute post-install script condensing things and adding registry keys just to wrap up the deployment. I'm not exactly sure what that post-install script did, but let's take a look at it. And here on the desktop, we can see that by default we don't even have a wallpaper. It's only just a standard black screen, and naturally we can't even change the color because Windows isn't activated, so thank you, Microsoft. On the desktop, all we have is our recycle bin. We'll get into the File Explorer in a minute, but just notice that it's the older File Explorer. We don't have the new ribbon at the top. Let's navigate down here to the taskbar. We can see on the right side of the taskbar we have our standard items like our Show Desktop button, our Notification Center and Calendar, our volume, and then in the system tray we have VMware Tools, which I installed, and then we also have Safely Remove Hardware and Eject Media. Moving over to the left side of the taskbar, we do have our Show Desktop button, or rather our Multi-Desktop button. We have the Search button, and we have the Start menu. It looks like a newer version of Windows 11 because it doesn't have the Chat button, but I would assume even if it was older that they've just completely removed the Chat button altogether. But we do have the ability to customize what we see with Search, and the only thing we can control here is Task View. Jumping over into the Start menu, we can see that for some reason the theme is mismatched. The taskbar is light theme, but the actual Start menu is dark theme, so the Windows system theme is just not applied correctly, it looks like. But by default on our Start menu, all that's pinned is Settings and File Explorer, and under Recommended we have Get Started, Welcome to Windows. Now, this is one thing I've seen in nearly every single lightweight version of Windows 11 out there. I don't know why it seems like Microsoft makes it so hard to get rid of the Getting Started application, but even things like Tiny11 can't get rid of this application. I don't know why. I don't know how ingrained in the system it is, but it seems pretty complicated. In all applications, this is every application that comes on the system. We have File Explorer, Get Started, Notepad, which is the older version of Notepad before Microsoft kind of messed it up. We then, going down this list, have Settings, Windows Backup, and then Windows Tools. So Windows Backup is a newer tool that Microsoft has released. I don't know why it's still included. Maybe Windows downloaded it as a part of an update when I booted this up. It may not have been included. But then we also have our Windows Tools, again with that sort of weird dark theme, light theme mismatch that we have here in the File Explorer. It truly is bare bones because this is all we have. So let's go ahead and jump into that File Explorer. We can take a look and see that we don't have the new bar at the top. We do have the traditional kind of File Explorer menus here that we've had since Windows 7. So mostly looks like Windows 10, honestly, with the icons and the way that this is laid out. So we do have more of a Windows 10 quick access toolbar rather than a Windows 11 toolbar. But all of the Windows 11 icons, of course, are there. As you can see here, this just confirms that what I told you was correct. It is a 1.29 gigabyte ISO. And then as for the install size, it's taking up 3.77 gigabytes, which is very impressive considering that Windows 11 installed takes up, I would assume, probably 20. I don't have the exact number. But again, the ISO for Windows 11 itself is larger than the installed version of Barebones 11, which is just incredible to think about, just how much wasted space Windows 11 today takes up. So that's our disk usage as well as our file explorer. Let's jump into Task Manager and see what we're running with here. So this CPU, I just did default Windows 10 or later settings in VMware. We're using typical Windows utilization. It does bounce around a decent bit. And then under memory, we are using 900 megs, actually 834 megs out of 2 gigs. So I only gave it 2 gigs because I knew it was supposed to be lightweight. So 800 megs idling on Windows 11 is not bad at all. Let's go ahead and jump into settings and see what we're actually working with here. So let me go back to system about, and we are running, okay, so this is IoT Enterprise LTSC, which is probably part of how they were able to get this so small. And we are running 24H2. So not 25, but 24, not bad at all. In fact, I'm not sure IoT Enterprise LTSC comes in 25H2 because I know that this specific edition is kind of a LTSC. It's a, I don't want to say rarer build, but it's a long-term support build. So they may not release 25H2. It may be stuck on 24H2. Let's check Windows Update. And going to check Windows Update, it looks like we actually don't have it. What a lot of these custom ISOs end up doing is they disable Windows Update so that you can't update and break the OS, and it looks like they've just completely ripped it out of the operating system entirely. And even clicking on this button up here does nothing. So with that being said, this was a really brief overview of Barebones 11. Oh, and here is the developer. I can't believe I forgot to mention that, xpower7125. That all credit goes to them. So with that being said, this was an overview of Barebones 11. Please let me know if you have any other ISOs you want me to take a look at. Please leave them down in the comments below because I love doing viewer recommended videos like this one. If you like this video and found this interesting, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you're new around here, as I do all kinds of different technology videos, including device restorations. And with that being said, I'll see you all in the next one.